everyone, it's Jessica here with DIY Art Studios, and today is episode 2 of DIY Quarantine. I'm hashtagging it Creative Thursdays, so if you happen to make the project, please make sure that you use that hashtag so I can see your amazing work. That being said, hopefully you've already seen the list of items that are needed for today's project. If not, they're going to be scrolling through here in a second, so feel free to pause the video, grab your items, and participate along with me. Or you can watch the video in its entirety and come back and access it. It'll always be on my Instagram page. That being said, I haven't really announced what we're making yet. I always leave the suspense for the final video that I post. Today we are going to be making marbleized paper, and we're using a STEM activity with some science behind it with milk, dish soap, and food coloring, and it has a really cool effect when we mix them all together. So that being said, I'm going to go through all of the steps and show you the visuals. If you happen to have any questions, feel free to comment below, or you can message me directly and I will try my best to give you some answers. This is something new that I'm trying out, just giving everybody a chance to try something creative as we're confined to our homes. So I'm a newbie, I'm rolling with the punches, episode 2, so it's my second time doing this, and I am definitely open for feedback. So please share anything that you feel is helpful for me to know. So for our items, we're going to bring milk, dish soap, food coloring, a variety of paper in smaller sizes, I would say about 4 by 6, and Q-tips. So those are the items that you can grab. You can always pause the video and bring them over. And here is just a little visual of the items I announced. Just giving you a little overview of some of the papers I selected around the house, just so I can see what kind of outcomes would happen on different papers. So I have all of the items that I described here. I am using a paper plate because it's shallow, and I just pour the milk so that it covers the bottom of the plate. I also have a Pyrex bowl to the left of me so that when my milk gets muddy, I can dump it because I'm gonna refill it with fresh milk probably after about 3 prints, and we'll see what a print is in a second. But basically, we're going to start first by using the 4 colors of food coloring. You can use all 4, or you can choose to use only a few of them, 1 or 2, maybe 3. You can kind of select what colors work for you. But as you see, when I drop the food coloring onto the milk, it's going to just kind of sit at the surface. And I try to put them in different places so that they have some room. So you can see all the colors are showcased here. So the next step is getting a Q-tip, dipping it in the dish soap, and the magic is about to happen. Once I touch the surface with the dish soap, what's really cool is that the molecules of the dish soap attract the fatty acids in the milk, and so what happens is this beautiful kind of explosion. So it marbleizes on the surface of the milk, and now if I take the paper, I can dip it into the surface and quickly just kind of pick it up, and I do it as quickly as I can. I just kind of flip it over. You can see the beautiful marbleized effect, and we just lay it on newspaper. I grab another paper. I can probably pull about 2 to 3 prints on the same surface before it gets muddy. What happens is the colors start to mix a little bit from moving the paper, and it starts to turn brown. So once it turns brown, just dump out the milk and refill the plate with new milk. You can make as many prints, as many designs as you want. In this example, I'm only going to use 3 colors instead of the 4. And you can be as creative as you want with the colors. If you have other tones that you want to make, maybe premix some of your food coloring, you can do that as well. And always use a fresh Q-tip. You have 2 sides, so make sure you put enough dish soap on it. You'll also find that after a while, Sometimes the soap remnants stay on the paper plate, so you might want to get a fresh paper plate in between. So you can see with the 3 colors, it's a different outcome. I'm laying the paper down, and I've used a lot of different papers. I actually cut envelopes in half. I use computer paper. I use a cardstock with a natural kind of texture. I use a very lightweight watercolor paper, and then I also use a very thick watercolor paper. And this is just one last attempt where I use the primary colors, just to show you that you can still mix as many colors as you choose, just trying to see what the outcome is with these. It makes more of a rainbow effect. Really cool. And here I'm showing you a few of my favorite outcomes. Some of the papers that I use, this is the computer paper. So you can see that it really absorbs the color in a kind of soft way, but vibrant. And then I also have the watercolor paper. You'll notice that on the edges of some of these, there's a little bit of darkness. That's from when you flip it, there might be a little bit of milk that like clings to the side. And so when it dries, sometimes it has that darkened effect, which I think is a little cool. This is the lightweight watercolor paper. You can see that the texture is a little bit different, kind of like crosshatch. Beautiful rainbows here. And then the last one is the envelope that I cut in half. So all of them had a really good outcome. That concludes it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to follow and check me out next Thursday for a new video and new DIY quarantine.